Hi, Year 5. Right, if you remember yesterday, Dinah had just found out that the school was going to be on the Eddie Hare show. I'm going to find out why that might be such a problem. So, Chapter 12. Got you guessing? Oh, that, Lloyd shrugged. Didn't you know about that? Why should we get excited about it? It only means more glory for the headmaster, and none of us is going to be in the team. What's that got to do with anything? Typical of a girl, he thought. She was just trying to distract them because she'd messed up the business with the recording. But Dinah was staring at him as if he were an idiot. Can't you see how peculiar it is, she said softly. Think what the Eddie Hare show's like. Mess, chaos. They fling things all over the place. Flour, soot, chickens, all sorts of things. Sometimes they even break windows. I expect they pay for them afterwards, Ian said. But look, Dinah leaned forward, anxious that they should see things her way. Think about what the school's like. If you put your knife and fork down out of line, someone's onto you. If you throw snow at someone, the whole place goes mad. Why should the headmaster have invited the Eddie Hare show to come? Because he must have done. You're right, Mandy said slowly. I never thought of it like that before. It is odd. Lloyd banged the table. What does it matter if it's odd? It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm not so sure, Dinah said softly. You see, the headmaster knows it was me that did those sums for Harvey. Harvey gasped and she smiled at him reassuringly. No, it's all right. They were a trap. I was meant to do them. But so that you don't get into trouble for it, I've got to be in the quiz team for the Eddie Hare show. So, Lloyd said disagreeably, that just goes to prove what I've said all along. You're one of them, not one of us. Oh, do be quiet. For once, Ian was roused out of his usual lethargy, positively snarling at Lloyd. Can't you see Dinah's got more to say? And if she thinks it's important, it must be worth listening to. Lloyd subsided, sulking, and Dinah went on, choosing her words carefully. It was Mr. Venables who told me about being in the team, and the really odd thing was that he kept saying, you must see to it that the team wins. The headmaster says that the team must win, otherwise there'll be trouble for Harvey Hunter. You can do it, can't you? Harvey said in a worried voice. You are clever enough, Di. Oh, I expect so, Di said vaguely, but that's not the point. The point is, why is the headmaster so desperate for us to win? Why should it be important to him? Lloyd snorted. More honour and glory for his precious school. Dinah shook her head, frowning. No, I don't think that's it. It doesn't seem to fit somehow. There's something else, something at the back of my mind that makes it all make sense, but I can't catch hold of it. Look, Ian said suddenly. It's Friday today, isn't it? We can watch the new Eddie Hare show at 6 o'clock. Let's see if that helps. Oh, good-o, Ingrid chirped. I love it, especially the great school quiz. The questions are so hard, I can never do any of them. That's because we're all taught parrot fashion, said Dinah. The questions in the quiz are puzzles, and no one in our school's encouraged to think. It's quite the wrong quiz for our sort of school, so why did the headmaster get us into it? It's just the fame he wants, Lloyd said. I told you. You know what they say about the Eddie Hare show. Everyone in the country switches on at 6 o'clock on a Friday to watch it. But, began Dinah. Lloyd flung his hands up in despair, ready to argue with her. Let's forget it for now, said Mandy hastily. Who's for a game of I Spy? The television screen exploded into action. 6 girls, apparently with no heads, danced across the screen, chased by a large gorilla. Yes, folks, said a cheerful voice from nowhere. It's what you've all been waiting for. Your weekly dose of craziness in a sane, sad world. The great, the magnificent, the only Eddie Hare show. The gorilla jumped into a dustbin. Then it reached up and pulled its head off, revealing Eddie Hare's purple-painted face. It's all rubbish, he said severely. Only idiots watch this show. Tests prove that 99.9% of our viewers have no heads. Bounding from the dustbin, he waggled his purple hair at the audience. And just you wait till you see what a vintage load of rubbish is on the show today. If you had any sense, you'd switch it off now. Got you guessing? That's how I like it. At manic speed, the show swung into its usual succession of gags, sketches and disasters. Some of it was pre-recorded, like the piece where Eddie Hare swung from a helicopter dropping balloons shaped like ladies over a beauty contest, but most of it was live, and 1 or 2 of the disasters were obviously completely unexpected. Whatever happened, Eddie Hare laughed his raucous laugh, and all over the country people fell about clutching their sides helplessly. Only in the Hunter's sitting room was there total, grim silence. All the members of Splat were watching the show like detectives, trying to see why the headmaster was interested in it. And the more they watched, the more baffled they became. At last there was a fanfare of trumpets, accompanied by wild grunts from a pig. "At last," bellowed Eddie Hare. "Now you'll see that the people round here are not only mad, but stupid. It's the great school quiz." Immediately the cameras panned round the school hall where the show was taking place. 2 teams, each of 3 children, were sitting facing each other, and beside each on a throne sat a cheerful-looking head teacher. Eddie Hare walked across the stage with his knees knocking dramatically. "Can't stand teachers," he whispered at the camera. "They terrify me." Then, with a grin, he was squatting on top of a barrel, reaching for the first question. "Right, it's a question for Manor Junior School. You have 30 seconds to think, and anyone can answer, if you're not all too thick to work it out. Here goes. I want to buy roller skates for my chickens. 12% of them have only 1 leg, and half the rest refuse to wear roller skates. So how many skates do I need to buy?" "That's impossible," Mandy said. "He hasn't said how many chickens there are." "It's the same number of skates as the number of chickens," Dinah said calmly. "Works out to 1 leg each." Almost 30 seconds later, a brainy-looking boy with glasses faltered. The same as the number of chickens?" Eddie Hare beamed at him. "Watch you don't burn your mind out, genius. Thinking's bad for your football. Remember, now, the next question." As the quiz went on, the questions grew harder and harder, but Dinah answered them all, hardly pausing to think, and the more she answered, the crosser Lloyd grew. "Oh, shut up," he yelled as the last question was asked. "We know you've got brains the size of the Eiffel Tower. No need to rub it in. I vote we turn off this stupid programme." "Not yet," wailed Ingrid. "It's just getting to my favourite bit with the head teachers. Let's watch that." On the screen, Eddie Hare was waggling a finger at the headmaster of Shillingstone Street School. "Your lot," he said cheerfully, "are the dimmest school of the week. Prepare to receive your reward." In a flash, a giant panda appeared behind the headmaster's chair and tipped a bucketful of flour over his head. As he emerged from the white cloud, brushing it from his beard, his pupils cheered wildly. "I can just see our headmaster liking that," Ian said with relish. "Perhaps the whole thing might be fun." "No," murmured Mandy, "we're going to win, remember?" "Well, that's even better," chuckled Ingrid. "Do listen. What's the other headmaster going to say?" For Eddie Hare was now pointing at the headmaster of the winning school. "You seem to have a crowd of geniuses," he said sourly. "Tell us how you do it, if you dare. Can you avoid the gunge bucket? Viewers, get ready to vote." This headmaster was a large, cheerful man with a red face. The camera panned it onto him so that his face filled the whole screen. "Doughnuts," he said perfectly gravely. "That's how we do it. We fill them full of doughnuts every morning before school. Good for the brain. You should try some, Eddie, and if anyone refuses to eat doughnuts, we—" As he talked, a narrow strip started strolling across the bottom of the screen, telling viewers how to vote. But no one in Splat was interested in that. They were all staring at the screen, trying to imagine their headmaster sitting in that chair. The winning school's headmaster went speaking for a full minute, saying sillier and sillier things about the magical qualities of doughnuts. Then a buzzer sounded and Eddie Hare leapt up and waved his arms. "Our viewers have voted," he declaimed. "This is what they think of you." The panda pranced back onto the screen, jammed 3 giant doughnuts into the winning headmaster's open mouth, and started squirting him with raspberry sauce. Lloyd reached forward and switched off the set. "Well, that was a waste of time," he said contemptuously. "Our headmaster isn't going to have anything to do with all of that, is he?" Wait. Dinah had gone white, and she was still staring at the empty screen with her mouth open. Then, as if she were being strangled, she said, "It's always like that, isn't it? The headmaster of the winning team gets a whole minute to talk, to say whatever rubbish comes into his head, with most of the people in the country watching." Ian nodded. "Well," Dinah gulped, "think what our headmaster could do with that." Mandy gasped. "Would a minute be enough?" Harvey said. "Probably," Dinah considered. "I don't think it took him nearly as long as a minute to hypnotise me the first time." But that's devilish," spluttered Ingrid. "He'd have the whole country in his power. Do you think that's really what he's planning?" "I don't see how he could resist it," Dinah said miserably. "Do you, Lloyd?" Lloyd would dearly have liked to say she was wrong, just to show her up, but the more he thought about it, the more certain it seemed. "I think you've got it," he said grudgingly. "But why?" Dinah chewed her bottom lip. Lloyd jumped to his feet. "That's obvious. Don't be dumb, Dinah. He'll be able to make his fortune. All he has to do is tell everyone to send him £100 or go out and rob a bank or something, and he'll be the richest man in the world." "Of course," said Ian and Harvey together. But Dinah looked doubtful. "I'm not sure. It doesn't seem quite—" "Oh, you," Lloyd said bitterly. "You want to have all the inspirations just because I thought of this one." Mandy interrupted him, ready to make peace as always. I can't see that it matters why he's doing it. The important thing is, what are we going to do about it? Couldn't Dinah just lose the quiz? Ingrid said helpfully. No. Harvey went white and Dinah shook her head as well. That's too dangerous. He planned all this before I came, so he must have some scheme, even if the team loses. No, the only safe thing to do is to stop the Eddie Hare show coming to the school at all. Right. Lloyd decided that they had all listened to her for long enough. His head was suddenly bursting with ideas and he was determined to take charge. I'm the chairman, I'm going to make plans. Everyone looked round at him and he grew even more confident. This was better, like before Dinah came. Everyone waiting for him to tell them what to do. We'll keep quiet for a week so that no one suspects anything. Then, on the day of the show, this is what will happen. I wonder what they have planned. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow for Chapter 13 when Splat goes into action.